I'd break up the lambing content with a little bit about our chickens and our pastured operation. Just about the daily way that it works out in a paddock. So yeah, let's do it. This is in 10-acre lots, and we use chicken wire here, there, and just attach it to various wires, and then fold it down the bottom so that the chickens, if they want to dig at the bottom, they can't get out, because obviously they'll dig underneath if they can. And the top wire can be electrified for I wonder who. And yeah, that's basically, it's designed to keep chickens in. If a fox wants to, it just jumps straight over the top. You'd have to build it taller in order to prevent foxes. So it's kind of like an inclusion fence, not an exclusion fence. So our chickens used to be in that paddock, which we have now sown down with a winter species cover crop. It's got 12 species in there. Not a lot of wet rain, so hopefully that grows, but that paddock itself is 10 acres, and it'll be rested for about 12 months, hopefully. And then this is obviously a tree plantation, more of a windbreak as well, hopefully one day. And then here is chicken paddock number 2. So we've moved them in here recently, and obviously coming out of the back of summer. So there's not a lot of, well, there's no ground cover, if I'm to be honest. And in this section, so this particular 10 acres, but also another, what is that going to be, 30 odd over that way, we have a really high thistle rate. So this paddock has been cropped for 20, 30 years, and we just got it back to trying to turn it back into pasture about 12 months ago. So with a 12-month of dry, lack of rain, our pasture development has been somewhat successful. However, at this time of year and in the current conditions, it doesn't look like it. But it'll take a little while for us to get those thistles back under control, but we'll get there. And it will help having some of these girls in here, we think. So they've come into this section over here. And we'll see how that goes. We've obviously do soil tests to check all of that out, but we've done one, and we'll do another one sort of at a 12-month windows. Soil tests can be a slower burn, so you don't always see a huge change in 12 months, but you can depending on weather conditions. This is what egg farming in a drought looks like. These girls are perfectly healthy and happy, but it just doesn't look very pretty. And whilst their manure is doing good things for the soil, obviously the lack of ground cover, which is something that does happen with chickens when they're left in an area, that's why we're constantly moving them. And obviously they are still moved now, but there's no ground cover to go to. I mean, that's not perfect in some elements as well, but it doesn't matter what you have on this paddock. There wouldn't be a lot of ground cover at the minute. It would slowly grow grass, but yeah, it's not. If I walked all the way up there, there's not a lot happening. So pray for rain, really. So these two vans are separated from the third at the minute, and I'll explain that in a moment. But these two are about 900 of currently laying birds. These vans are moved along the paddock and spreading out the manure from these chickens, as well as giving these girls more and more access to green grass. The moment that isn't an option, but that's okay. They're doing just fine. They have great feed in there, and that helps. But obviously grass and bugs are a great thing, and if I'm honest, bugs are still around, so the grass is really only a smaller part of their diet. It's a bonus, and we obviously do try very hard to have that, but we're working with what we've got. So this van here, I'll show you inside a van. We've done some custom work, so we bought this one, and we added various things. That's an automatic door there. I'm just getting focus. So we've got automatic doors that open up based on the sunlight, or timers, whichever way you want it to go. We have round metal perch poles, which are better than wood in terms of keeping the... Hello, Tyson woke up. Hi, Tyson. How are you? You can come round. This is the young pup. Come here, Tyson. Why are you so wet? Where did you end up? We definitely didn't have rain, buddy. Anyway, So these are round and not wood, as you can see. We deliberately didn't go for wood, so wood-wise, they can hold mites and germs more. This is a bit cleaner. We've got misters here, which are for summer, so that'll come on based on an automatic temperature from a sensor over there. And that will keep the girls a little bit colder. We've got the laying boxes, you can see they're coming in and out, so that opens and closes automatically, and they go in there and lay. And so we're at lay time, so you can hear how noisy they are. That is normal for laying. So those are the nest boxes they lay in. Those eggs roll away, as you can see. Go back up here. They roll into a conveyor belt, which is where we collect the eggs from inside there, which they can't get in. And yeah, they sleep here. They lay in here. There's extra drippers in here, and obviously more drippers down here. That's a very hygienic way to give them water, so they don't get dirty. It just stays clean. Here is the office. So these are the crates that we load into. Here are the trays. Some of the trays this is going to be super heavy, so I won't be able to do it because it's quite full. I need 2 hands. But basically we roll this forward, which is going to be hard. And then with our roller, and then we pop eggs into there. Like that. This is a medication tank, so that is currently got nothing in it. It's just got water. But when we want to put something in, we can, which gives us that option. And that is apple cider vinegar or mite treatment or coccidiosis treatment or anything else that we decide we need to put in, we will put into there. And basically these trays get put into those crates get put onto our side by side, and we drive them back to our cool room. So here we've added extra mesh on the bottom, which does break some of the weaker eggs, and they do get more marks in them. But this is what happens when you cut corners or you don't quite lay train properly. You get chickens not laying in the place that you want them to. And what that does is obviously gives us dirtier eggs, more likely to be broken. They stand on them, all that kind of stuff, which costs us money every day. And obviously time to grab those eggs. You might think it's not much, but it is over time. So, yeah, we've got to train them properly, and we are currently training a pullet group that are almost finished, and they are going very well. But if you get disrupted, illness, busyness, I think this group, I was pregnant, so I struggled a little bit more for training. Anything like that happens, you end up with potentially, hundreds of dollars a week, or, $100 a week going out the window, which is, it all adds up. These girls are our younger trainee chickens. They're not really pullets anymore. They're basically ready to go. And they're in a separate netting because we wanted them for a couple of reasons. One, we want them to learn to lay in that van. And 2, we wanted them to get to know their neighbours without having major arguments. You can see that their instincts are pretty good. They flock together, they're squatting, they're doing all the things we want them to do. So this van is our first ever van. In many respects it is our best van, if I'm honest. And a few reasons for that. The actual height gives it quite a lot of benefits than the other vans. They won't try and lay underneath. The nesting boxes in here, which I'll show you. Excuse me. Hello, thank you. The nesting boxes in here. Oh, that little rod has come out. We can just pop it back up. It's obviously got an issue there. We'll fix that. The nesting boxes are really deep. You probably can't really tell from this, but they are quite deep in there, which is more attractive to chickens to lay. Yeah, this van has all the same things: strippers, misters, poles, same concept. So pullet lay training is basically when they hit about 18 to 20 weeks old, they'll start to squat a lot like that. Or if I can get some free room. Come on, girls, I know, I'm very interesting. Like that girl did. She's doing that, she's doing that. That's squatting that we're talking about. So that is basically when their reproductive system is coming on board. They would do that for a rooster. When they start doing that, all we're doing, it's nothing fancy, is picking them up and putting them into the nest box and reminding them where the nest boxes are. All right, girls, I know, I'm very interesting. We do that for maybe once or twice a day in addition to egg sorting in the morning for a couple of weeks, and that gets all these girls knowing where they're supposed to go. As they get to this point, I don't need to pick them up when they squat. I'm actually just looking for anyone who's laying around a feeder or something that's not quite got the hang of things yet. So I am here now, and all I'm going to be doing is popping them into any ones that I think are laying in a place that they shouldn't. I'll be putting them where they should. Thank you. This is Ola, by the way. I'll be putting them where they hopefully should be laying, and we want them to do that. So you've seen what will happen is if things get dirty or broken because they're in the wrong spot. And excuse me, I need to walk and I don't want to hurt anyone. Excuse me. All the doggies are here. Anyway, soon enough, not too distant future, you'll see some of these eggs on the ground here. So I haven't collected any today. That shows us that there's still a few just not quite getting things right. But in the not too distant future, these girls will be pretty much spot on. That netting will come down and they'll join the rest of the group, and away we go. A tip for anyone who does want to train chickens to lay somewhere, or if it's in numbers or if it's even in the backyard, if you do see eggs that are out and about in the wrong places, make sure you're picking them up. So they do have a natural instinct to lay where others have laid. I don't actually know why, but I guess they just think it's a good spot or safe spot. So by picking these up as frequently as possible, I am just trying to discourage the girls from actually continuing to do it. So this is why we train, because we don't want to be doing this every day. Excuse me, everybody. And we don't want our eggs getting ruined or broken or dirty, etc. Especially if you think about it, when rain does come, even if we did have ground cover, but even without ground cover, wherever chickens are, there's little piles of mud and things get dirty and stained, and it's not something that we can use, it's a waste. So always pick up your eggs wherever you see them that you don't like them to be, like there. It's a broken. Oh well, there is a chicken sitting down there. She's laying. So let's pick her up. So like I said earlier, in early days you pick up the ones that are just squatting. Hello. But as they get a bit further into the training, you're looking for ones that are actually showing signs of laying, and you're picking them up and moving them to the box. Like this. Hello. There you go. You've got buddies in there. Don't want to disturb them anymore, so they're all laying in there. She's going to go in there and go, oh, what a great idea that was, and hopefully she doesn't lay under there again. So it's about changing habits. Chickens, when they have the habit, are basically just completely unable to change them. So unless you fully stop them from, ever getting back there. And obviously our girls are designed to be doing their thing in open spaces, so that's not something we can do later. So we have to try and set the habit early, because if you want to talk about creatures of habit, all of you. It's another day, and I reckon we're almost finished with the lay training, and we're just doing a bit of a push, so spending a bit more time out here at a different time. It's actually spitting rain, so I'm playing in the muddy dirt. But I will embrace muddy dirt for the rest of my life if we get rain. So, just looking at the final ones that have been really stubborn. And then, you can't do it forever, they're not going to be perfect. So, hopefully we get the numbers really, really low. And there's just a couple a day that may not get in the right spot we can pick up. But, let's do it. Actual drips. We're going to have mud now because we have no ground cover, but who cares? Look, it's dripping. Oh, hello everybody, coming to join the rain party. Rain party. This is our employee of the month every month. This is Bass, a Marama Livestock Guardian dog. and together with the other two, they are absolutely essential to what we do. Without them, our chickens would be at risk, constantly at risk, and definitely would get taken by foxes and eagles. And these guys live out here permanently. Their food and water's out here, and this is their life, and they love it. They're not like a normal dog. They have their own instincts and breeds. They're wired a little bit differently. They don't usually make the best pets in someone's backyard, but boy are they loving and affectionate and delightful to have here on the farm. Isn't that right? Good boy. Now this is a pretty cool time saver. It's our dog food bin. Basically we can put the forks underneath and move it with the tractor whenever we move everything else. It's got a flapper on each side, except that one has just broken, so we're going to have to repair it. But right now, that's one flapper, so occasionally the wind goes like that, which gives you an example of what we don't want to do. But it'll come back in a sec. We're going to get some heavier flappers when we fix it up now. And basically what it does is it allows us to feed the dogs when we come out to collect the eggs, and we don't have to come back out later at night time. Chickens will eat the dog food and the dogs won't like it, so you've got to do it when the chickens are asleep. Can you hop out please, sweetheart? I really appreciate you, but no. The dogs don't like chickens eating their food. Fair enough. So normally what you'd have to do is feed them at night. That one got broken. It got broken, Tyson. Zoe, did you want your food now? You have to wait. It's not ready yet. Yeah, so in order to solve that problem, so we don't have to come out at night time, we built that. We only have to do it if we can come out once a day. Sometimes when it's good weather and it's not an issue, then we can do that once a day and we don't have to come back out. And everybody's happy. Whilst I'm waiting for someone to be naughty, I thought of a few things that I've probably forgotten to mention. These vans, all three of them, get moved once a week with the tractor, including the feeders. We use a mash feed. I'm not going to remember everything that's in it, but it's, barley, lupins, peas, corn, some trace minerals, limestone grit. Yeah, that's as much as I can remember. But it's basically in its like natural form, maybe split, but basically in whole grain form, not in pellets, which they significantly prefer. I mentioned sort of like our electronics, so our things like our doors closing and our nesting boxes closing and things like that. That's all run by solar panels. Those solar panels are on each of the roofs. I didn't mention lighting. Oh, I see a chicken being naughty. We'll continue. I didn't mention lighting. A little naughty one. We do have lights on the... Hello. Not on my watch. We do have...
A few moments later.
I tried to do a video of talking and putting the chicken in, and it's too hard. There's things to climb, and I forgot what I was saying. I don't even know where I was up to. But I think I was talking about the electronics and the solar panels and the lighting. So we have lights on the vans, and they elongate the days, so only needed in winter months when the daylight is less. Chickens' growth of eggs, so many naughty chickens. God. Chickens' growth of eggs are done mainly through the daylight hours. So when it's shorter daylight times, we obviously get drop off, and everyone who has chickens would know that in the winter months they stop laying, or they lay a lot less. So we try to prevent that, or at least try and have some impact on decreasing that by providing lighting. Age of the chickens also contributes. But yeah, I mean, basically, before I get these little buggers down there, basically what we're trying to do is create eggs in a way that improves soil. It doesn't look like it right now. It is a pretty sad, sorry sight for any farmer at the moment, and you can only work with what you're given. But these chickens, whilst they may not have ground cover, they don't care. They actually love it. Preferably they try to destroy ground cover when they can. That's why we move them. But we're trying to create healthy, happy chickens that produce the best possible eggs whilst improving soil, and they are doing that by providing their manure. Could it be better with ground cover? Absolutely. And we hope to get back to that as soon as we can. There's only so long you can last unless you have no stock whatsoever without enough rain. So as the soil dries up and the moisture goes, grass naturally dies off and it doesn't grow back until we get rain. So that's the kind of issues that we are facing, and it is hard. And if you do know a farmer, I think if there's literally no farmer in Victoria right now or South Australia that isn't struggling. So be nice to those people, because this is a tough time for everyone, even chicken farmers. So anyway, thanks for watching. Probably still forgot stuff, but I'm trying my best. Now let's get these little bastards, because to be honest with you, two of them right next to each other. Not on my watch, ladies. It's just hard no. Come on. I need 2 hands. Signing off. These are you right on my back there?